Life has truly just been life the past few months. Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Catherine Alexandra, and I know you guys are probably wondering, Kat, where the hell have you been? Well, if you guys follow me on my social media, then you guys may be a little privy as to some of the updates that have happened in my life over the past couple of months. It's been about 4 months since I last posted a video on YouTube, which is crazy. I can't believe I've gone that long without posting. I've never gone that long without posting on my channel since I launched it back in 2023. But life has a funny way of forcing you to kind of take a step back and focus on what's really important. And for my mental health, for my peace of mind, I had to just kind of take a break from YouTube to focus on my family. So as you guys know, back in March, my boyfriend and I relocated from New York City to Atlanta. We really had the intentionality of just kind of like locking in, focusing on, our work. Me, I have my 9-to-5 job in public health, but I also have my brand, my platform that I wanted to really lock in and pour into. And then at the end of August, my grandfather passed away. My grandfather passed away at the age of 95. He lived a very, very, very long life, and I'm so thankful that I had him in my life for the past 32 years. But almost 32 years. My birthday is next month. But his passing definitely took a toll on me in a lot of different ways that I honestly did not expect, only because his passing was something that happened unexpectedly for us, even though my grandfather was 95 years old, right? My grandfather was literally the strongest person that I know. My grandfather never complained. If you asked him how he was doing, his response was always, "I'm all right." My grandfather worked well into his 80s, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. He was a hard worker. My grandfather paid off his home. He, had his family. He took care of us. He took care of himself. He was just a very active person. He was never ill. He was never a sickly person. I've always known my grandfather and seen my grandfather to just be an active, get up and go type of person. And so because of that, I always just envision my life with him. And we all know that death is something that is inevitable, but because my grandfather was just like that guy, my grandfather was so cool. Like, he was just so chill. He was just so laid back. And because he was always just a figure that was in my life and present in my life and so active and moving, I never envisioned what it would be like to not have him in my life. I always thought about when I get married, him walking me down the aisle. I've always envisioned when I have children that they would be able to meet their great grandparent. Like, I've always been enamored with that idea. And he ended up, in the hospital for about 2 weeks, and he was discharged home. And that same day, about a few hours later after he was discharged home, he passed away at home in his bed, which is something that he said he always wanted. He always said if he wanted to go, he wanted it to be in the comfort of his home. But it was just something that happened so quickly, you guys. And I did get the opportunity to go see him when he was in the hospital. My grandfather lives in Florida, so luckily we were able to make that drive out there to see him, and I was able to see him before he passed. And I spent about 6-7 hours in the hospital with him, just speaking to him. He wasn't really able to respond back to me, but he held my hand the entire time, and I was just able to just let him know how much I loved him and thanked him for everything that he's done for me. My grandfather is literally the most important male figure that I've had in my life growing up. When he passed away, I wasn't physically there with him, but my mom and I were able to be there with him on FaceTime while other family members surrounded him. So honestly, losing a loved one is very difficult, and that was honestly one of the most painful yet beautiful things I've experienced in my life, only because I was able to be there and literally watch my grandfather take his last breath. And that was very painful, but also watching him pass away surrounded by family, watching him pass away surrounded by love. I mean, we poured into him. I mean, my mom and I were on FaceTime with him for like an hour, just pouring into him and just letting him know how much we loved him and letting him know how much it was okay for him to go, because he was really fighting it. Like, he was fighting to stay here. And we let him know that it was okay. And it's crazy because even in his final moments, my grandfather was still trying to be strong. And that was something that I was so touched by, because he wanted to be strong for us. And it was a moment where we had to be strong for him and let him know it's okay. You can go. You don't have to fight. You can go. I miss him a lot. I really miss him a lot. I think about him all the time. There are moments throughout the day where I'll just like stop and I'll just think about it. I'm like, wow, he's really not here. My grandfather used to call me on the phone and he would answer the phone and he'd be like, hey, baby. So I always hear that in my head now. And I guess that's a good memory for me to have, because it's something I can take with me. I definitely just had to take a break to just process all of that. And then literally 2 weeks after my grandfather passed away, my mom had a major surgery. And I had to go back to New York to be there to help her, you know, recover from that surgery. So I've been spending a lot of time going back and forth between Atlanta and New York. And in the midst of all of that, my boyfriend and I also moved into our own space. So from the end of April to like mid-September, all of these things that I just talked about transpired. My grandfather passed, my mom had her surgery, moved into her own space. So trying to be there for family, but also trying to make the space that we moved into feel like home, just took up so much of my time. And it was like, something's got to give. You got to take a break somewhere. So that's why I had to take a step back from posting on YouTube, because I also want to make sure that when I come on here and I make content for you all, that it is actually quality content. I never want to put out anything that's just like a rush job or just to put it out there just to say I put it out there. So I was like, you know what, Kat, take a break. And when you're ready, you can come back to it. So here I am back. And this is my first video in 4 months. And life has truly just been life the past few months. And I think the one thing that I could say when going through a period where life just is crazy and it feels heavy and there's grieving and there's loss, I think the best thing that I could say is the importance of being present for it. And that's another reason why I took a step back as well, is that I actually wanted to be present with myself, not even just for like my family, but I wanted to be present for myself, because I wanted to really allow myself to feel whatever it is I felt. That's what makes me human. That's what makes us human at the end of the day. I didn't want to walk around here trying to pretend like everything was good and come on camera and kiki, when that's not really how I feel. And one thing about me is I can't fake that. Like I cannot fake how I feel. Like how I feel, you're gonna know it. I'm a very expressive person. I'm very in touch with my emotions. So I wanted to just allow myself to just go through the roller coaster of emotions that I was feeling at that time. And I did. And now I'm in a better space because of it. I'm able to talk about these things in a way that it's healthy, and I can communicate it in a healthy way without feeling, you know, extremely overwhelmed emotionally and things like that. I can just be honest about where I am. And so this is where I am now in life. I'm in my space now. If you follow me on TikTok, you will see that I've been doing like a lot of DIY work to my new apartment, which has been very therapeutic for me. Like I've never been one that was like really into like home decor, but now I'm like constantly finding new little projects that I could do and things that I could really put into my space to elevate it and really make it feel like a place that brings me peace, because I want to make sure that the place that I lay my head at night is a place that brings me peace. Like I don't want to be in chaos. So it's been really therapeutic for me to just get this space together and just make it into a Zen-like environment. Outside of that, I've also just been really locked into work. I actually got a promotion at work, so I'll be leading one of our other projects at my job. So I'm excited to that. I actually stepped into that role like a month ago. And beyond that, I also attended my first event as an influencer last weekend. So I was a brand ambassador for the Tilia YG Curls, Kinks, and Culture Fest here in Atlanta. It's a festival that combines Black beauty, Black hair, Black culture, Black entrepreneurship, Black art into one space. And it was a really, really dope festival. I had access to the VIP lounge where I was able to mingle with other influencers. And then I was able to go around the room and just talk with business owners. I was also able to take in a lot of like art and music and dance, and it was really, really fun. Being in a space like that is something that I've talked about wanting to be in for the past few months, so it was just really amazing for me to finally be in a space like that where I was able to network with other Black women who valued the same things that I did. I also met Talia YG, the owner of the brand, and I also got some goodies from them, and I'm actually going to be reviewing their Love My Locks collection. I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you guys and an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. But that's pretty much just where I am in life right now. My 32nd birthday is coming up in less than a month, so just gearing up for that. I mean, another year of life, which I'm thankful for, and another year of just, you know, more knowledge, more wisdom, more health, more wealth, more love and success is really what I'm focused on. So I'm just thankful for that. And most importantly, I'm almost at 5,000 followers on this channel. So I'm happy to see how much my platform has grown. I launched this channel back in January of 2023. So we're coming up on 2 years. And I really, really, really want to just grow this platform. And so I'm very thankful for everybody that has been rocking out with me, especially since the beginning. Everybody that comments, that likes, that subscribes. I go through my comments all the time. I respond to every single one of the comments just because I really appreciate the community that I have here and the way that you all pour into me. And I want to make sure that I'm pouring right back into you. So that's all for my life updates at the moment. Make sure that you guys like this video, you give it a thumbs up, communicate with me in the comments below, show some love, and I will see you in next week's video. I'm excited to be pushing out some more lock content. Oh my God, I didn't even show you guys. My locks are growing, you guys. My locks are growing, and I have so much more lock content that is on the way for you all, so stay tuned. Beautiful girl, you stainless, you'll be fine.